That's why we need a space of our own so that we can be at rest and enjoy this. But anyway, good morning, everyone. And this is a pleasure to be here with you all and with you all online. So for those who don't know me, I actually am a geologist by trade. And the reason I chose to become a geologist was to study rocks, time, and Earth's evolution to answer big questions. And those life big questions were, where do we come from? What was and what will be? But today I want to ask that first question, where do we come from a spiritual lens? Because beneath all the layers of our human story is an even deeper truth, our divine identity. Unity teaches that we are fully human and fully spiritual beings, and that to be a child of God has nothing to do with the religion one professes. Actually, religion is incidental. And but are we ready to accept that we are fully human and fully divine? Or are we unaware of and indifferent of our true selves? Reverend Dr. Sue Seeking was a Unity minister and an author, and in her book, God Always Says Yes, from back to 1968, she questions, have we forgotten our divine heritage? Well, I think that question still applies today. And so let us dive deeper into the idea of embracing our divine heritage and how to connect with our true selves beyond outer circumstances and tap into the power of our inner self. There is only one truth. No matter from which background you are, Catholic, Islamic, Buddhist, First Nations, okay, there is but one power, a common denominator of all life. One person expresses truth and the one power in one way, and another person expresses in a total different way. Yet, notwithstanding that, the many ideas about theologies, creeds, dogmas, and ritual, notwithstanding all those, there is but one principle: the eternal presence of an unseen power. So as posted at unity.org, the first two principles of unity are: God is everywhere and always present in every circumstance. The divine energy underlines and animates all existence. That's the first principle. The second one is human beings are innately good because they are connected to and are an expression of spirit. Okay, I will be using the word God, but please replace it with goddess, loving source, Buddha, Allah, whichever one you want, okay? But I'll be using God. So back to my talk. So I was saying there's these two principles, and as God is everywhere present, and we are expression of that same spirit, then our divine identity isn't something we earn and or reach. It is something we remember and embody. And according to Unity's teachings, that one power is in you, has always been in you, and will always be in you. So have you ever wondered about what is your purpose? I always believed that I was made, I always believe that I was made for more than just wake up, go to work, come back to sleep, and repeat. And that's why I was looking for this. Where are we coming from? What was, and all these big life questions, right? But our true vocation is not about our outer work, such as school or our careers. Our true vocation is to develop and express our soul and divinity, not merely to follow external careers or roles. Our true work is not done in the outer world, but within us. And it's not, you're not going in to develop your ego. That's not what I'm talking about. It's you're going in to bring forth your inner self so that you may be fully human and fully divine. As Reverend Dr. Susie King wrote in her book, God Always Says Yes, your true vocation is releasing and fulfilling your soul. And Myrtle Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, she wrote, it is our purpose in being here to become conscious of and express in our lives the true pattern and qualities of our Father and Mother. In her book, Reverend Seeking says that there is always another chapter to your great and wonderful story. That the truth about your life story is that you have never failed, that you cannot fail. We may think that we can fail, that we have failed, and we are failing. We may think that others have failed, are failing us, but that's not true. Reverend Seeking reminds us that what we call failure is often just life unfolding. Wow, I like that. Because it means we haven't lost our way. We are being shaped. And Myrtle Fillmore, she wrote that we rejoice and remember that we have the God power to change conditions, the God love to express Christ likeness, and we work lovingly and diligently with whatever we find in ourselves or our environment that fails short. So see, both authors are telling us that setbacks are not limitations. They are invitations. Invitations to grow in awareness, to reframe our understanding of what is happening, and to reclaim the spiritual truth of who we are. How many times have you been discouraged simply because something has not turned out the way you planned? Have you ever felt that you've messed it all up? That you missed your chance? Yeah, when we view our so-called failures through the lens of divine purpose, we begin to see them not as endings, but as turning points, essential chapters that shape our becoming. Reverend Seeking's words remind us that life is not a straight line of successes, but a sacred unfolding. And likewise, Myrtle Fillmore encourages us to respond not with regret and judgment, but with faith and action. If we truly believe, as Myrtle said, that we have the God power to change conditions and the God love to express Christ-likeness, then every experience, even the ones that we label as mistakes or missteps, every experience can be redeemed. Nothing is wasted. Each moment, each challenge becomes part of a greater narrative of our spiritual evolution. So instead of asking, what have I done wrong? We can ask, what am I being called to learn or become now? The story isn't over, and the next chapter can be even more powerful, more loving, and more grace-filled than the last. So learn from every experience, good or bad, and embrace life's events as part of your divine purpose, trusting that life is always guiding you towards your highest expression. Do not see life's experiences as milestones or limitations, but as spiritual growth opportunities. In her book, God Always Says Yes, Reverend Seeking tells us that all roads lead to our highest good, and all assignments in life are for our richest unfoldment, regardless of appearances or regardless of our human judgment about them. So how we react to setback is very telling. If we say we do not know what to do, it's because we forgot to listen to our hearts and forgot who we truly are. As beings who are fully human and fully divine, we have access to all that we need. We just need to choose to go within, ask, and open for the answers. And the good news is that the power of will is ours. And with it, we are writing our life story aligned in divine order. So trust in your inner wisdom. Release any false beliefs about limitation and trust in your inherent divinity to unfold your own path. We are not at the mercy of our circumstances. Let us not blame our circumstances on others or our environment. We create our own environment. We have the power to choose. And this truth that we can never be separate from God is beautifully illustrated in one of the most well-known parables, that of the prodigal son. By the way, I'm teaching Jesus' teachings right now, so I'm deep in parables. So let me tell you about this parable. It's a younger son asks his father for his inheritance early, and he leaves home and he squanders everything in a distant land. Destituted and humiliated, he decides to return home, believing he no longer deserves to be called a son. But when he returns, his father sees him from afar, runs to him, and welcomes him home with joy, fully restoring him in his place in the family. So see, in this story, the younger son chose to leave. A decision that his journey symbolizes in our own choices when we disconnect from our own inner wisdom. His redemption came not from fixing external conditions, but from an inner shift, a decision to return to truth. And the story shows we are never at the mercy of our circumstances. We always have the power to choose again. His decision to return was an act of will, a reclaiming of inner authority and divine inheritance. And the divine order, which is personified by his father's embrace, that divine order met him the moment he aligned with truth. So like the prodigal son, we may find ourselves in places of confusion, lack, or disconnection. But these are not punishments or signs of failure. They are invitations to remember who we are, to release the beliefs that we are powerless, and to reclaim our power of will, not to control others or our outcomes, but to choose alignment to truth, with truth, and with divine order. We are not defined by our past or our environment. We are defined by our divine nature, and that is unchanging. So claim your power of will, your decision-making, direction, and choosing faculty of the mind, and harness it to work with divine order. You may use this affirmation. Centered in divine wisdom, I claim my power to choose. I release all false beliefs and step boldly into the truth of who I am. I walk in harmony with divine order, guided by love, grounded in spirit. Unity teaches that the creative process is divine order. We can consciously choose to align with truth to create a life of peace and prosperity. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, defined the law of mind actions, which we know as thoughts held in mind produced after their kind. So our thoughts shape our experiences, our minds, focus, and beliefs influence our external conditions. In Reverend Seeking's book, through the power within us, we can do all things. We are writing our own story, and it is a tremendous story. We not only write it, but we are also required to live it. And it means we must not only go within to discover who we are, we must also experience and live the truth that we know and choose. And by the way, that's the fifth principle of unity, to live the truth that I know. So in order to be free to grow and unfold as fully human and fully spiritual beings, it is important to live in the present moment now. Release any attachment to past experiences, bad and the good ones too. Release the regrets and failures that limit your present potential. Impressions from the past are linked to events that have already passed, and they're linked to a different you. Thoughts about the future, if they're not linked to your inner wisdom, they're just distraction. So we must trust in our inner wisdom and let go of trying to control every outcome. And we must go within. And E.V. Ingram, another famous unity author, in his book, The Silence from 1965, describes the idea of going within. Essentially, he writes that to truly connect with God, who is spirit, we must turn inward, because spiritual truth is revealed through inner, intuitive awareness. When we go deeply within, beyond the body, beyond our personal thoughts and sense of self, well, we come into direct contact with the infinite presence of God. And in that sacred stillness, truth reveals itself. And not through reasoning, but through spiritual discernment. We don't just understand truth, we experience it. So we come face to face with the oneness of God, and unity defines God as absolute truth, good, and love. Thus, our highest wisdom will never offer something that is not true, and it will always be for our highest good. Our life story is based on truth, and it's made of good and love. So as Reverend Seeking wrote, the great invitation of life is to know. The reason we are not aware of the high calling and purpose of life is because we feel lost. Yet, we cannot be lost, for we are made of the essence of God. So this means that our life's purpose is to be truth seekers. We embrace our divinity. We can unfold our life's journey, but do not seek truth here, there, and everywhere. And do not seek truth solely from books, other organizations, and other people. Seek truth by going within. Know who and what you are. So we must embrace our divine self, our true being. We are both fully human and fully divine. Our materialistic society leads us to live a life in an outer world field of activities, but the secret is out there. You truly fulfill your life if you go deep within, seeking divine order. The true power resides in your thoughts from divine mind and your relationship with your inner wisdom. I invite you to contemplate as I say the following affirmations. I am one with divine wisdom. I listen, I trust, I follow. I release all false beliefs I stand in the truth of who I am. I am free. I am whole. I am strong. I choose with wisdom and love. I walk in harmony with divine order. I am not limited by the past. I am free to choose again. I claim my power of will. I create my life in alignment with spirit. I co-create a life of peace and purpose. I started by telling you about life's big questions that made me choose to study geology. Well, we need to learn to surrender. We need to learn to surrender the need to know everything with exactness. I need to release that. And I need to release, and we need to release the need to control every outcome. It is a hindrance to our growth and maturity. You do not need to see the entire staircase. Know the destination and the steps. The right one will light up in the path in front of you. Ask your highest wisdom for guidance and claim your power of will to get on your way. Trust that through God or loving source, all things are possible. I made the point that we are all divine expressions of God and that we must bring forth our inner self so that we may be fully human and fully divine. See life's events as part of your divine purpose, trusting that life is guiding you toward your highest expression. Trust in your inner wisdom and let go of trying to control everyone and every outcome. Embrace your divine heritage, your true being. All of your life will unfold in good and in love. So I invite you to step into the truth of who you are, fully human, fully divine. No longer see yourself as separate from the divine, but as an expression of it. And recognize that your wisdom, your power, and your divine heritage are already within you. Let us commit, all of us, to go within daily, seeking truth from our inner wisdom rather than relying solely on external sources. And let us trust the unfolding of our journey, knowing that every experience, every challenge, every joy is an opportunity to express our divinity. And today, make a conscious choice. Release old doubts and limitations. Trust in your inner guidance. Walk toward in faith, knowing that with God, all things are possible. And embrace the power of your inner self, knowing that you are always supported by the presence within you. And you are not just a seeker of truth. You are the place where truth lives. So walk forward today, not as someone hoping to be divine, but as someone who already is. Now, let us take a few minutes for going inward. Allow yourself to become still. Gently close your eyes if that's comfortable. Now beginning by noticing your breath. Natural, steady, present. With each inhale, feel life filling you. With each exhale, let go of tension, concern, or self-judgment. Breathe and let go. Now bring your awareness to your heart, to that sacred center of knowing within you. You may imagine a soft light glowing there, a warm, steady presence. In this stillness, affirm silently, I am one with divine wisdom. I trust the light within me to guide my path. I am one with divine wisdom. I trust the light within me to guide my path. If any false beliefs come to mind, old stories of limitations, blame, or fear, simply notice them and gently release them. And as you breathe, say silently, I release all that no longer serves me. I am free to choose again. I release all that no longer serves me. I am free to choose again. Feel your inner strength awakening, the power of will within you, that sacred ability to choose, to decide, to move forward in alignment with truth. Affirm silently, I claim my power to choose. I walk in harmony with divine order. I claim my power to choose. I walk in harmony with divine order. There is nothing outside of you that controls your spirit. There is no condition that defines your worth. In this holy moment, you remember you are not at the mercy of your circumstances. You are a spiritual being, wise, whole, empowered. Let these final affirmations settle deep within you. I listen, I trust, I follow the guidance of spirit. I listen, I trust, I follow the guidance of spirit. I create my life with love, wisdom, and peace. I create my life with love, wisdom, and peace. And now bring your awareness gently back to your breath, back to your body, back to this time and space. When you are ready, slowly open your eyes. You return grounded, clear, ready to walk forward in truth.